Okay, so we're here discussing job markets and AI bias, but specifically for our generation. And Xavier, one of the questions that I had for you, and I want to make this a discussion point, is just the idea around AI evolving the way that people get hired. So as an example, AI right now is screening resumes for HR departments rather than people looking at them and kind of judging people based off of, I don't know, maybe something else that human beings do. One, do you think that's wrong, or do you think that's okay?
So with the evolution of artificial intelligence, I think there are some pros and cons to it. I personally myself like to describe myself as an old school person. So what I would do if I was in that situation was I would let the AI do its work, and then afterwards I would, physically manually go through it, because sometimes AI does have lapses, just to
Do
make
you
sure I'm
think,
content.
though, that if, let's say, a massive company is using AI to screen,
Mhm.
does it create a barrier of entry that wouldn't have normally been there if human beings screen the resumes for young people to be able to get their, foot in the door when it comes to their first job of some kind?
I would say it might, because sometimes AI, again, it's not perfect. It's not 100% perfect. It does have errors in what it does. So it may not be able to catch specifically what it's looking for, even though most of the time, HR says, oh, AI is the most efficient. There are lapses at the end of the day in the system with AI. So I feel like human intervention somewhat
Okay,
needed.
let me ask you this. Do you think it's going to create more jobs, or is it going to replace more jobs? Because I know Gen Z is pretty concerned about that. And there's almost, are you seeing an existential dread around what AI is going to do to the
Unfortunately,
job
with
market?
the evolution of AI, what I have been noticing is that there has been, it's taken over, like minimum wage, a lot of minimum wage jobs, especially in like customer service and retail. So as things going now, with the evolution of AI being very, very fast, I do see it like taking up a lot.
What's stopping me from, instead of hiring an accountant, going on ChatGPT and then saying, I want you to go through my taxes for this year and be my accountant, and I get a GPT that is an accountant?
See, the problem with GPT is, then again, it's an artificial intelligence. Sometimes it may not be updated with the with the latest set, and or have the
But
minds
what
of
if
an
it
account.
is?
What if it is? And
Yeah. Like, see, this is my point is, we're seeing more and more, even like lawyers, accountants, like even in our industry in marketing as well, like creative planning, campaign planning, like all these things are are being done through AI now, where it's like, do you need that person? Do you have any ideas around what that might do for?
Actually, I'll give you a good example.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of clients that use Wealthsimple to do it on their own.
Okay.
And then even then they have to come to us, because they receive a lot of audit letters from every Canada saying, you're missing X, this is wrong. We need to investigate your file a bit more. So give us this. And then because of all this coil up, they have to eventually end up coming to us and say, look, I need help, even though I did it myself. And Wealthsimple says I did it correct. I'm still getting these audit letters from Revenue Canada. So if that's happening with Wealthsimple, imagine what's going to happen with AI.
Do you see the same thing happening in law and in the creative space? Like, do you see that happening across the board?
Like in those sectors?
Yeah. Okay. So specifically, like lawyers, realtors. I've heard so many realtors saying, AI is gunning for our jobs. When we're talking about young people getting into the job market, is it merited that they might think AI is going to replace that entry-level job that I otherwise could have started at that company with and then built myself up? Now I have to get a job that requires 5 years of experience, but I can't go find the entry-level job because it's been replaced by AI.
Well, it's really a sector by sector basis. Like if you're in, like, say, retail or even computer science, unfortunately, that's the grim reality you have to face. But in any case, we still have to prepare with the eventuality that at some point it's going to take a whole lot. So what we have to do is we have to at least take some initiative to go in early and understand before it's basically AI takes over. It's all too late.
How do you get policies that ensure like fair AI screening around resumes, or like, do you think that there's anything young people could benefit from around that? Specific policies around, hey, we want to see artificial intelligence not be used in the hiring process, or like, will we need step-ins for that, for young people to be able to get into the job market, get their first job of some kind?
Well, if there's like an increased vocal support and increased volume in social media platforms, eventually companies are going to have to start to notice and say, yeah, maybe we do need a bit of a half and half split between AI and human
So do
intervention
you
to
think
make
there's
sure
a
all's
world
good.
in which companies say, we don't use AI to hire?
I do hope, but at the end of the day, I know they're going to use AI, but I do hope there is a balance of half and half.
Okay, so both of us are you're in school, but also work with your family's business in cafe and accounting, and I work in marketing as well. But
Mhm.
I'm curious to know from you, give me just a quick response here. What would you tell a 19-year-old to invest their time into in order to be able to make a splash in the future world?
If you're in a fortunate situation like I am, where my family is running a small business, go there every day, treat it like a 9 to 5, learn the nuances, learn every single technique there is from top to bottom, learn every single skill there is, invest a lot of time in that to make sure that you are well equipped and ready for what's ahead if you have to take over.